Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform on Raypower FM. My name is Amicha and we will have a full house today. Adeba Bodure is here. Kula Dewale, Tevetiava, Bulo Semuago joining me. I will be taking a look at 3 issues that deserve our attention and your understanding and comprehension. We'll talk about the war in the Middle East. We'll talk about the repercussions in Nigeria. We'll talk about the fact that IDP camps are still opening in Nigeria. In Niger State, the governor told us 300,000 persons from 10 different local government areas are forced into IDP camps, and it's not peculiar to Niger State. If you go into Kwara again, you may see IDP camps also set up. Is the government aware of it? Are they showing the desire, the hunger to protect the people? Promises are coming from the new INEC chairman. Recall the promises the former INEC chairman gave. He gave so much promises and didn't deliver on all of them. But this one says, under him, there will be no glitch. Let's start with the Iran-US-Israeli war that has turned to Middle East war now. Iran extending the walls, the frontiers of the world to almost all the other nations in the Middle East. Adeba Abodure.
Thank you, Amishi. Good morning to TV, good morning to Kunle, and good morning to Abulu, and good morning to our listeners, wherever you are, or those who are watching us on the YouTube. You see, I always make reference to that document on Metasine riot in Kano in 1980. The report of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry warned the nation. And when this Iran crisis started, I picked a copy of that judicial panel report because I have it in my library. And I read the portion of it. That report warned that Zaki should be closely watched by the state. By that time, he was a student. And he should be closely watched, his pronouncements, his movement, and but like all judicial panels or even administrative panels, that thing was thrown.
Is his followers, Islamic movement of Nigeria that are protesting against the Israeli and US attack?
I'm just saying it that
in Iran.
He was a student then, and I don't think he has large following that he's having today. So if Nigerian government has done what they ought to do by not allowing those reports to gather cobwebs, throw it somewhere and they are gathering cobwebs, they will have known what to do since 1980. So today, the man has large followership. He's in detention, but his followership is swelling every day. And so they have very strong link with Iran. And so the nation...
They are Shiites, and the Muslims in Iran are 100% Shiite.
Yeah, the nation must be cautious. Security. I read the statement by the new acting Inspector General of Police, but the protests, they are actually, when they start, it's really peaceful. It turns into something else when they are confronted. I have a feeling that everybody has a right to ventilate their whatever, whether it's anger, whether it's bitterness, whatever. So I plead that this time around, there must be cautious effort to ensure that it doesn't turn on anything otherwise. The numbers are increasing of followership.
We want to bring in Kula Dewale now. Kula, your thoughts?
Well, from time we've known in Nigeria, let me say good morning to you first. Don't mind my manners. Good morning to all our listeners and watchers on YouTube, and to my colleagues too here in the studio. From time we've known that whenever anything happens in Iran, the reverberation comes to Nigeria. Even you remember when this magazine in France, what's the name of this magazine again? That one of them that sketched Muhammad depicting
the Holy Prophet,
depicting the Holy Prophet Muhammad as a pig. I'm trying to remember the name of that French magazine. When that happened, the protests started, they were so loud here, louder here than they were even in Europe and in other parts of the Middle East where Islam is even, where it originated from. So what we keep talking about is how Nigerians hold religion. And religion sometimes clouds everything else that we do. It determines a lot of things for us. And I'm happy that the Acting Inspector General of Police, Tuji Disu, has put out a red alert to his men across the country that they should watch out so that this thing does not snowball into something else. It's something that we need to watch out for, and we need to be careful that our religious beliefs don't lead us into destroying our own nation by ourselves. The conflict is going on in the Middle East. It's between Iran, the US, and Israel. We have very little there's very little that concerns us there, except that, of course, the fallout in terms of oil and all of those things will come to us just like the rest of the world. But we do not need to import that conflict into Nigeria.
Not just Nigeria, some other countries, U.S. missions, embassies in some countries have been ambushed. Some people, in fact, in one of them, 10 persons killed and all that.
Yes, in Pakistan.
Yes, in Pakistan.
Yes, there was a protest around the consulate. That was yesterday, Sunday. Good morning once again.
They broke into the consulate.
Yes, the consulate. Partially, yes, but
they tried
the security agencies took charge of the protest, but they stood there calling on others to join them. And from time immemorial, we have seen such incidents where the repercussion comes back to Nigeria. But I've not had situations whereby people in Pakistan or people in Iran or people in Saudi Arabia say they are protesting because of the situation of their brothers back here in Africa. I've not had that situation. I've not seen it. I beg to know if maybe I don't have my full knowledge of history, but I've not seen it. But it's always in this part of the world where there is a crisis there in the Middle East, some people take it upon themselves to say that they must protest against what is happening there. I think the IGP, acting IGP, has laid the caution already. For the sake of the peaceful coexistence, which is fragile, very fragile in Nigeria, leaders have to talk to their subjects. Even El Zaki has subordinates who can talk to the followers. Don't take to arms, don't take to the streets, vandalizing properties in the name of fighting the U.S. government. The U.S. government is there, the Israeli government, they are there. They don't even listen you. So we should be careful to ensure that we maintain this peace that is very fragile. As Kunle was saying in the last part of his contribution, the effect of that Middle East crisis is on the oil prices that we are seeing glaring us in the face. Whether there will be an increase to 90%,
it's already $80 per barrel.
72. I think the Brent crude is I think one is 72, the other one is 69.8. They are looking probably to rise to $90 per barrel by today, which would be a big headache for us. So that is what we should be looking at, the economic implication of the Middle East fight. But what is Trump looking for? That is the big question.
Okay, maybe that's the explanation Tebe may want to give. The US and Israel said Iran has refused to indeed halt their process of manufacturing of nuclear weapons. They continue with the enrichment of uranium and all that. And so they decided to take out their sites, take out 40 of their leadership, the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, and all that.
Yes, I mean
retaliation from
yes, across. It has even gone up to this morning. Good morning, Amici. Good morning, listener and viewers. You see, what I'm looking at is Nigeria's response. You remember that on Thursday we're discussing this issue, and I said here that Thursday, US and Iran were having talks over the Tehran nuclear program, and that was almost about the last from the position of the US, that if those talks ended in a deadlock or there was no outcome expectedly for a deal, anything would happen.
and around that time already, some other countries had already started making arrangements. Why am I saying this? Some Nigerians are in the Middle East. If I have a classmate of mine who is in the Middle East, most members of our class have tried to reach him, to see how he's doing, and all of that.
Did you see the Nigerian in Bahrain? That was running amidst rockets, landing Iranian rockets.
Also in Doha.
Yeah, he said he was running and he was from Nigeria because of AK-47, sounds of AK-47 gunshots. He ran to Bahrain thinking that he has found solace, only to be running from sounds of rockets falling from the sky. So he's thinking of running back home here.
He should better run back home. I wonder which part of the country he was. He was talking of AK-47. I hope he's not somebody who was looking for prime ministership and said in his neighborhood there was shooting and everything, and all of that. Some of the pictures we paint, these are the people who go and look for. These are people who go and look for asylum, and you paint all kind of images and all of that. So when the strike started, the Nigerian government said, look, Nigerians should reach out to, they already know what to do. But I think that advisory, perhaps that action or measure came in a little too late when you look at what other countries, had done. When there was even the issue of evacuation of non-essential staff from some diplomatic missions, and all of that. But we are where we are. The oil prices, and all of that. We were asking what Trump, from all indications, is a gamble he has taken. And his talks about regime change. Okay. Perhaps he should ask himself whether there's actually a regime change in Venezuela, where he took out, a president, and all of that. So all those issues on the table. I think Nigerians, we should be looking at how it affects us. The security people are doing the right thing. So I hope that the economic team will also put up a stake.
Let's see whether our listeners, as we take your mails, will have some comments on that. The ladies, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Amici. The Nigerians, you're now listening to the mail segment on Political Platform. I am Aricha Ojiti.
And I am Aicheda Majekodomi. We begin with Ugochukwu Godwin from Lagos, who says, I listened to Donald Trump give excuse on why the USA had to strike on Iran. The excuse cannot be fathomed. This is a man that castigated the likes of Obama, Biden, etc. for going to needless war in the Middle East. When politicians are outside power, they say anything, but when they get power, they repeat what the previous person did. It's like a template. UAE have closed schools and airports, cancelling over 1,500 flights. UAE claimed that out of over 1,320 missiles and drones from Iran, their anti-missile system were able to ward off 1,316. Does Nigeria have such equipment? This needless attack on Iran and the people has started having effect on oil prices. Iran claimed that over 100 children has been killed so far. Nigerian government should be wary of the implications of these attacks economically and security-wise. They should start adjusting since Trump said there is no going back on collateral damage will be imminent.
Laji Agbas, writing from Ida in Kogi State, says, time heals. If it works for nature, why should it not work for us? The story of Adam and Eve was bound by time. The rise and fall of empires were shaped by time. Even the United States took centuries to attain global power. And now, at long last, freedom is here. Every leader carries within them the good, the bad, and yes, the hypocritical. The DP once boasted it would rule for 60 years, but Buhari, with decisive action, reduced those 60 to 16. Tinubu, true to his word, began where Buhari stopped. Today, he has performed the final rites, laying PDP to rest. Nothing lasts forever. Those who once presided over Nigeria with power and influence now sit in opposition, weighed down by despair. But in his divine wisdom, God will raise perhaps the least expected figure, one who will rewrite Nigerians' history, bury the APC, strip the cabals of their supremacy, and lead us to the Eldorado we seek. But before then, let us acknowledge what has been done. I congratulate Buhari for dismantling the PDP. I congratulate Tinubu for completing the funeral rites for the architect of our nation's woe, the PDP.
And Amiche Bochi from Kobo says, we should be ashamed, not because Nigeria lacks resources, not because we are without oil, fertile ground, or brilliant minds. Rather, we should reflect because one state has demonstrated that compassion-driven governance is possible, while many others appear indifferent. Recently, Alex Oti, governor of Abia State, signed into law a landmark senior citizens welfare law. The legislation provides every Abia resident aged 60 years and above with a monthly stipend, free comprehensive health care, annual medical checkups, and structured support to ensure dignity in old age. This bold step raises important questions for the rest of the country. For instance, in Lagos State, where internally generated revenue reportedly exceeds 70 billion naira monthly, sometimes even surpassing 90 billion naira, what structured protections exist for the elderly women trading under the bridge in Agege? In Rivers State, blessed with significant crude oil revenue, while do many senior citizens still struggle to access functional healthcare facilities? In Kano State, known for strong cultural and religious values that emphasize care for the aged, while do some elders still resort to begging at busy junctions? Whatever perspectives we may hold, the 36 state governors must move beyond distractions and focus squarely on improving the welfare of their people. Nigeria is richly endowed, and we should not be a country where citizens feel compelled to seek survival elsewhere through the so-called Japa syndrome.
Taking out that Google writing from Ibo City in Rivers State says, as much as the 2026 Electoral Act amendment disappointed me with the transmission of results, I was delighted it demands only consensus and direct primaries, and that parties are to submit a digitized copy of their membership registers to INEC. I only hope that INEC will make these party registers public on the INEC website. I was, however, amazed to hear that the ADC complaining about the time they need to get the digital registers ready. Is ADC saying Senator Kingibe, Senator Abaribe, or Senator Tambuwa did not participate in any of the debates to have given them early warnings to start work? I can say the ADC, like majority of Nigerians, were also distracted by the real-time transmission and ignored other amendments or clauses that the majority APC were inserting into the Amendment Act. Because the issue of digital register submission was mentioned, even on here on political platform in early January, I advise ADC and other opposition parties to be more circumspect with legislative processes so that next time they can raise dust when the legislative process is still ongoing and not after a bill with unfavorable clauses have been passed.
And on election matters, Dixon Eka from Abuja says, as indicated by the INEC national chairman, it will be very interesting to have a mock presidential election to check the performances of IREF, beavers, and other technology gadgets that may be deployed for the general election. The situation where insinuations mount on the proviso to the electronic transmission of results and the use of APC standard to amend the Electoral Act, thereby making things difficult for the other political parties to meet up with the requirement to enable them participate in the forthcoming elections with very short notice is worrisome and already creating tensions as to whether any other political party may meet up, so it will be so good to have a mock presidential election.
Indeed, that is all we can take on your mails today. Keep sending your mails with your name and where you are writing from to politicalplatform@dargroup.com.
Thank you so much for the mails. Talking of the elections, civil society organizations came together yesterday to organize a citizens town hall on electoral reforms, and all the stakeholders were represented. INEC chairman was there, and he's given promises. He gave reasons why he believed we didn't get it as right as we should have in 2023, and has promised improvement, even when he has said that I expect perfection in 2027.
Well, it was a big turnout. The party leaders were also there. Some of the parties were represented, and the people came from not just Abuja, from different parts of the country. And it was a good outing for the civil society yesterday. But my takeaway is that promises have been made. This is not the first time we are hearing such promises, promises clothed in impassioned oratory. And at the end of the day, achieving those promises will turn out to be a mirage. I do hope that this time around, the promises that have been made will not just be promises just for the purpose
of audit. And he gave hints yesterday that I have carried out an audit. And part of the audit he will carry out was to find out the cause of the glitch. He promises that there will be no glitch in 2027 without telling us what caused the glitch, like promised in 2023.
Well, let me, before TV comes, even those who are active participants in the 2023 election were also there yesterday, and all of them were speaking with tongue in check, if I will use that. They didn't come out boldly. The one issue that came to the fore yesterday was the man who played a key role in configuring IRF and Beavers was transferred on the eve of the election to Enugu State as an administrative officer.
But did he say anything?
Well, he said he's a civil servant. They have done what they want to do. He has retired now. He dodged the question.
Okay.
The totality of it is that such things must not repeat, because it's like
the first way it won't repeat is let's know what happened. Tell it. He does not have a reason to tell us what happened.
INEC knew what happened. Those who should also know actually know what happened. So if you're expecting anybody or expecting to hear any other thing, I'm not sure you would. Don't forget that INEC staff, including the INEC chairman, they are more like public servants or civil servants that the Secret Act would. There are certain things they cannot say. There are certain things they cannot reveal. That's why
because of the rule and public service.
It matter. Even yourself,
not independent.
He's not independent of rules and regulations. Even yourself, as a consultant,
yes.
If you sign up certain deals or agreement with government, there are provisions. There are certain things about those agencies that you cannot review. You cannot, even after the contract has ended. So anybody waiting.
There's no consultant here.
No, I'm saying even consultants. That's what not to talk about those.
INEC matter. INEC is funded by public funds.
Everybody. The National Assembly not funded by public fund. NAPC, all of that, they're not funded by public fund. What I'm saying is, if you want to wait for somebody to tell you anything about glitch, you will wait until eternity.
Let me
the
say,
glitch happened. It had happened, and they actually know what. My concern is the INEC chairman did not say anything.
So do I say the glitch was a manipulation of the electoral process?
They know what happened, and Nigerians who should also know.
No, we have a right to know. If they know what happened, these are money.
Let's put these things back.
Yes.
What happened in that glitch? The glitch is what the lawmakers tried to, in their own way, to take care of in the Electoral Act. What the argument has been that, look, if you make all of this real-time transmission, it means that at any point, if there is such failure, it means that election will be cancelled. I hope you understand what I mean. No, that's what.
Okay, before.
No, if it was real-time transmission, that once
INEC can cancel it.
No, it's provided once anybody can go to tribunal and say, okay, look, the law says there should be real-time transmission. Yes. There was no real-time transmission, so there was no election.
So they have imputed another possible glitch in the 2020.
It is that glitch. It is that glitch that brought about this section.
Okay.
Before Abulu comes in, I think as a nation we fail. We fail as a nation. Institutions that are legally authorized to do audit, they fail. The National Assembly failed. The National Assembly did not save us. What they created was that they created more problems for us. They created more problems. They have oversight on INEC. Why did they not do an audit of that glitch?
Now, quickly, the wise man says, promise is a debt, trust is a burden. The INEC chairman has promised. Abi? And we're holding it. It's a debt he has made. And it's very good to tell yourself the truth. He said, don't expect 100%. And I give him thumbs up for that. Because he's telling himself the truth. He is not waiting for TV to tell him the truth.
Only the Almighty that will give you
on the issue of a public servant, there is oath of secrecy that public servant signed. It will take only an institution of an investigation to reveal certain things. back door. That's what Eve is trying to claim.
Which sort of secrecy?
Now
the one
if an investigation is instituted,
invalidated or what?
No.
You know, it's a colonial.
No, you are
colonial law.
Why did they transfer him?
It's a colonial law.
Why did they transfer?
British that
Why did they transfer him?
us.
Why did they transfer him? Let somebody go to court and institute.
He promised. He has made other promises. How can I believe his other promises? When the first one he made was that he will audit and tell us what happened to the glitch. Yesterday he said he has audited. He discovered, part of what he discovered during the audit was that when we tested beavers within states, we didn't test them across states for the presidential election. So it gives you that notion that he has carried out the audit, but he has failed to tell us, to deliver on the very first promise he made.
Mechi, there's a difference between concept and actuality. I will do and I have done are two different things. He promised an audit. Did he say he has done the audit?
Yes, he said yesterday.
Did he say he's going to tell you all the details of the audit report?
He said he was going to explain.
He has explained.
No, he didn't explain the glitch.
No, he said no. I don't get it. He said he was going to do an audit.
Yes.
He didn't say he was going to tell Nigerians.
Factual copy of the audit.
Pick the constitution.
He's explaining part of the audit he did.
So, pick the constitution. Look at the oath of allegiance and the oath of office. You are not even supposed to discuss public matters with even your spouse. And it's there that what comes to you, your information as a public officer, you will not disclose it.
Even consultants sign non-disclosure agreements.
I said it here.
They sign NDAs. So that may be an issue. But like I said, he has told us he will do an audit. Has he done the audit? Yes, he has. Did he say he was going to tell us all the entire audit report? I don't think he did that. So maybe we can't blame him. But we must be careful. We must be careful as a nation to separate politics from governance. I keep talking about this thing. You're talking about oversight by the National Assembly. Who are the people in the National Assembly? Politicians. They are the ones who must learn to separate politics from governance. There has to be a line.
Partisan politics. Because politics is part of governance.
Yeah.
Governance is part of politics.
Partisan politics.
So what happened? What he said yesterday was that the glitch will not happen in 2027. What he tells is that he has understood what happened and he has mastered ways to stop recurrence in 2027. What he has failed to do is to explain to Nigerians what happened. Now, you're talking about oath of secrecy, this public service rule. It's simple as that when there's a power failure, when there's a system collapse, does the TCN or the discos, don't they tell you the reason why there's no there's an outage?
And you believe
so
that?
why must
And you
at least there's an
explanation.
Is that explanation?
They will keep telling you, there was something shaking on
has a responsibility. This chairman has a responsibility to explain what they meant by the glitch, what caused it, was the error of omission or commission. If he fails to do that, to me, all the promises he made yesterday, I say, take it back, take it to the best, take it to the marriage.
When public servants are to divulge information, they also have to be careful not to run contrary to the provision of the Freedom of Information Act. Have people sought to know what happened?
No, he promised.
To know.
He promised to do it. He promised to do it.
That you provide certain information. So if he conceals some information, he's running contrary to the provision.
No,
of the
my joy is that our democracy is evolving. In the past, and I want to say it, in the past, if it would be those days when politicians mobilize people to protest such things, we will have been in a terrible mess. That's what happened in the First Republic. That's what happened in the Second Republic. Don't let us be looking around and see issues, a serious national issue of a glitch that is swept under the carpet is in the interest of the nation. It is not. It is not. And we must be very careful. We must be very careful. The protests over electoral malpractices killed the First Republic. The protests over electoral malpractices killed the Second Republic. We are maturing. Let's hope our politicians are maturing. issues like this must not be issues that we sweep under the carpet. We must caution anybody. No secrecy. There's no secrecy about the issue that the nation must not know what happened to its electoral process.
Nobody is saying it's a national interest. Nobody is saying it's a national interest of what happened. But you ask yourself, at that town hall yesterday, was the ADC there? Was the PDP there? These are questions. These are people who have come out. What's the other one? NNPP.
ADC was represented.
These are people who
the major parties who
came out to say no. So what was their position on the issue on the Electoral Act yesterday? I remember last week we said the politicians should go and fight their fight and leave Nigerians and stop when Nigerians take up an issue, they will come and join and be claiming.
My final word, Amechi, is that while the politicians are fighting their fight, according to TV, the politicians must remember why there is a forensic analysis. It is to find out where we went wrong so that we don't repeat those mistakes in future. That's why they do autopsies when people die from certain illnesses, to find out why did this person die? How can we prevent others from dying from this same thing? We must audit our electoral system, learn from the mistakes so that we can get better. We will not improve unless we know where we went wrong. That's my submission.
Okay, while he was being confirmed by the Senate, that was early October 16, 2025, Professor Amopita pledged to conduct a comprehensive audit of INEC results viewing portal to identify and resolve the technical glitches that undermine public confidence during the 2023 general election. And let's take this quote from him. I believe what happened in 2023 was subsumed as a glitch. Before the election, my understanding, based on a review of Supreme Court decision, was that there was no clarity as to the purpose of IREF. The IREF was supposed to be a safeguard for comparison between the laws made by the distinguished Senate. Did not do away with manual. Okay, no, I think that's the end of it all. So he said he will do the audit. I have to audit the system. If I'm given the opportunity to see what is actually wrong and whether we have what it takes as it now, he said it because it is not just the INEC responsibility, but that of other agencies like NCC, NIMC, and service providers who must work together to deliver technology that Nigerians can trust. So we'll leave it here. You heard directly from him. So, Mr. INEC Chairman, you made a promise. And as a citizen and as a journalist under Section 22, I have the responsibility to hold you to account. You must explain to Nigerians why the glitch occurred. You said you will prevent it. That tells me you know what caused it. It's not a loan for you. It's not an information, a loan for your own consumption. If you want interest, public confidence to build into this electoral system, you have a responsibility, moral, constitutional, spiritual, even traditional, to disclose it. Have a good time. My name is Amechi Anakwe.